exclusive. The tape. 1 year later.
Y'all were coming for us.
Yeah, but Tavis, that's not in my heart. I wasn't coming for anyone like that. I apologize, but that was not me. That's not in my heart. And like I said a few moments ago, I have a solid, demonstrable record of shared power that's real and concrete. That can't be misinterpreted.
Join Tavis Smiley and an all-star panel of political insiders, influencers, and journalists for a look back at the crisis that shook LA City Hall when 4 Latino leaders were caught on tape making racist, demeaning, and derogatory statements about black people and other fellow citizens on Monday, October 9th, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. The tape, 1 year later. We'll broadcast live an afternoon drive from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. When all was said and done, was more said than done. 1 year later. Are there fractures in LA's black-brown political partnership? And where do we go from here? Don't miss The Tape, 1 year later. Only on KBLA Talk 1580, Monday, October 9th, live from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. We've got a lot to talk about.
You ready?
Come on! It's the Queen of Royal Badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Y'all better get ready to rumble. Got to run like a tumble. Spicy like gumbo. Spice on the bungle. Y'all live. Ain't ready.
Hey, you are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin Ayers, with you Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. on your ride home or already at home, listening to the radio. And that's the jam right there. Happy birthday to Mystical. Yes, he is in jail. But happy birthday to Mystical. Sometimes they give you special meals and, extra desserts and stuff like that. I'm sorry man, I ain't trying to come off like that. Not like that. I'm just saying. Well, anyway, I hope you are having yourself a lovely Friday. I am looking forward to today's show. We have some great things to talk about with a wonderful contributor who is going to be in studio with us today. We will get to that on the other side, of course. Listen, Krishan Rock. Leave Krishan Rock alone. That's all I'm going to say. Leave Krishan Rock alone. Okay, this young lady has had a baby now with Blueface. I don't know if you're keeping up with all the things on social media, but there was a viral video of her inside Walmart, and she has a brand new baby, a newborn baby. And she's got the baby carrier in front of her. She's holding a dog. This is all in Walmart. According to her, she's got carts of things that she's trying to get for her brand new home. And the baby is hanging on backwards, bending over backwards. So someone, of course, caught her on video, and of course it went viral. And she's like, listen, she addressed it. She said, bear with me. I will get better. And here's the reason I say leave Krishan Rock alone is, yes, she is young. She is a young mom. But those of us who have had children, we all had to figure it out along the way. And she has to figure it out in the public eye. So let's leave Krishan Rock alone. Okay, so that's that on that. We are going to go ahead and get to the show today just because there's a lot to discuss, and I want to break it down for you. Andy, let's go ahead and drop the Raw Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Okay, trigger warning. Okay, we are talking about abuse with this particular topic. Kathy Griffin, comedian, actress, Kathy Griffin, you all know who she is. She came out with some very interesting thoughts today on Kanye West and his new wife, Bianca Censori. I don't even know what to say about it. We are going to talk about it. My question is more so, can you identify a toxic relationship, an unhealthy relationship based on optics alone? Just based on optics. Like, can you do that? And if you can, do you think you should step in, or do you feel like, okay, step back because I haven't necessarily been given concrete evidence to where I can step in. I don't know. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about Stephen A. Smith yet again. And he's talking about he's questioning monthly child support. And to that note of Stephen A. Smith, I have heard you. Someone, you did not leave your name, but someone did leave a note for me on the open mic feature. I'm going to play that just so you guys can hear it. And it's also talking about Stephen A. Smith. So we'll get to that. We may even get to Tokyo Toni, who is Black China's mom. And she's under fire for filming herself giving out money to the houseless, to the homeless people. But here's the thing. It's not what she's doing. It's more so what she's saying and how she's saying it. We'll, of course, break that down for you on the other side. I have the question of the day for you as well. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, BB, and you're listening to me on The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, this is LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to the 28th Annual Central Avenue Jazz Fest on September the 23rd from 11 to 7 p.m. For nearly 3 decades, the Central Avenue Jazz Festival has paid homage to the legendary Central Avenue and its influence on jazz history. Jazz, blues, and Latin jazz will be featured on 3 stages of music. Co-headlining are Hubert Laws with special guest Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. Parking is limited, so Metro and rideshare are recommended. Hubert Laws with special guests Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. For more information, visit CentralAveJazzFest.com. CentralAveJazzFest.com. See you on the 23rd.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talent, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears. Thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with Always Fear No Gush.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, with Robin Ayers. You know who's here with Robin Ayers is the Stephanie O. Hey. Always such a pleasure to have you here in studio with me, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Happy Friday to you. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. It's a lovely Friday. I was just telling you I was going apartment hunting, so I'm just, focused on finding me a place to live so I don't be houseless. But
yeah, no, I get it. Listen, I just saw a post on social media where someone asked about what the typical rent is for like a 2-bedroom, you know, and obviously that's going to depend on where you're living, but some of the prices that I saw out there, it is just scary. It is really scary. And so happy house hunting.
Thank you.
To you.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you're going to find something.
Thank you. Thank you from your mouth to God's ears.
Hey. Okay, and you're rocking 11.8. This is what you go by on social media. Where did 11.8 come from? Is that your birthday?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
All
so
right.
no one can have any excuses when it's time to start gifting.
Okay, it's official. I'm gonna make 1012. That's gonna be my new oh hey. I'm gonna make 1012 just so everybody knows what's up. I think that is very smart, by the way. Okay, so my question of the day very quickly before we get into all of this is I saw someone talking about Oreos, Stephanie. They were talking about Oreos. I love Oreos too. But the question is, are you a eat the whole Oreo, kind of dunk it and eat the whole Oreo, or do you open it up and get rid of the cream and then eat the cookies alone?
I am I'm a whole eater. I'm terrible. I eat the entire Oreo. Actually, I break my Oreos in half and then I eat them half and half. But still, you eat together.
The whole. You do require the cream that's in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard from someone, like, they were like, listen, I will take my time. I would get an entire bag of Oreos, take my time and take each cookie, open it up, scrape out the cream and put all the cookies back in there so that when it's time, I don't have to worry about the cream later. They can just eat the cookies. And I'm like, you don't even like a little bit of cream? And some people actually do not like any of the cream.
I feel like you should be able to just buy Oreos without the cream if that's the case.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm asking you guys over in our YouTube. I like to know who I am talking to, you know, who's what you got, what's your personality? I like to know these things. So I know it's a very interesting question, but how do you like your Oreos? Do you like it with just the cookies, or do you require the cookies and cream? Andy, cookies and cream? Which one? Which team are you?
I'm weird. I'm gonna open it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna lick the cream.
Yep.
All around, and then I'm gonna eat that one cookie with the cream, and then you have the other cookie
that's
right?
bare.
That's bare, and I'm gonna eat that like that.
Okay. All right.
So it's just weird.
Well, however you eat the cookie is how you eat the cookie, but you are cookies and cream kind of. Okay. All right. Well, so far it looks like we're team cookies and cream over here. All right. So trigger warning. I told you guys about this. There is a trigger warning because we have to say that anytime we're getting into any sort of abuse talk, and I don't even want to spend too much time on this, but Kathy Griffin just kind of came out the blue. Now, we know Kathy Griffin from, I actually really liked Kathy Griffin back in the day. I used to watch her show. Mm-hmm. She had a reality show, and I was just I was intrigued by it. But she's making some really strong claims against Kanye West and his wife, Bianca, and she's making a little bit of sense, but let's break it down. Let's take a listen to some of what she said in this video right here.
And I'm going to get in trouble for this video. It's going to be controversial, I'll tell you right now, and I'm probably going to have like a lot of bros coming at me for it and everything, but it's just my opinion, just something I've been thinking about. Okay, so we've all seen those photos of Kanye and his new wife, Bianca Censori, right? So I don't need to show you. And it's easy to make fun of Kanye. I mean, I make fun of him in my act because he's like crazy and nutty and does all these things. But when I see those photos where she's in pantyhose and like not even a bandeau top, it's really all about being see-through and stuff. I think, number one, she has a banging body. Like, of course I would kill for that body, so this isn't about that. But she does have a body that is almost identical to Kim. And what I wanted, just sort of, what I'm suggesting, this is just my belief, is this is going to be bad. I actually think that he may be physically abusing her. And at the very least, 100% I think he's psychologically abusing her. Now, let me tell you why. I've talked about my dead brother can.
I'll basically surmise what she was basically continuing on to say. Kathy Griffin makes this claim that she believes that his behavior towards his wife is revealing in that he's making her do certain things. He's controlling her. She doesn't have a voice. And these are signs of something that she's familiar with her late brother, who was also an abuser. And she has heard from her late brother's wife, her sister-in-law, about these types of things. First of all, whoa,
Right.
whoa, Kathy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is so strong. And I think these are triggers for a lot of people. You know, you can't just be making up claims like that. You can't just start saying stuff just because you feel like
Right.
it. But to her point, she is making some good points here in that his wife, Bianca, doesn't really speak. And she does have a very familiar image in how she's portrayed as like Kim Kardashian was, his former wife.
I think that he chooses a certain type of woman. If you remember back when he was with Amber Rose, she was very similar to that. She was his I hate to call it a muse, but that's kind of how he looks at them, like his little dress up doll.
Yeah.
And very quiet. We never heard Amber Rose speak until after him. I think he's just very, very particular in the type of women he chooses to be with. I don't want to go out on the limb and call it abuse because, like you said, those are very strong accusations if you don't know for sure. But I think that he definitely has a certain way that he carries himself in a relationship and a certain woman that he wants. I think Kim was probably the only woman that he has been with that actually spoke because I've never heard any other girl he was with speak.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're not hearing them speak because they don't have a public presence or if it's just because they are under the shadow and the thumbprint, so to speak, of Kanye. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah.
Either way, you're right. We don't hear them speak, but muse is a great word. I think that all of the women that he's chosen to date have been his muse, especially after Kim Kardashian. He sort of patterned them, it seems, after Kim. However, it does, to me, this brings up another question. Are you able, we've all had the thoughts, or at least I've had the thoughts. You've been around people and you're like, something's not right here. Can you identify, or should you say something if you identify an unhealthy or toxic sort of relationship just based off of optics alone?
I feel that I am not a person who wants to judge anything based on anything I haven't actually, and when I say actually seen, I'm like, I'm not going to say I have to see you strike someone for me to be like that's an issue. But if I see you get even a little aggressive with them, I'm like, okay, I need to see a red flag. For someone like Kanye right now, the flag is more pink than it is all the way red. It's just kind of like, that looks a little weird, but I don't know what the dynamics are in that relationship. So I would actually have to see a red flag before I raise, any concern. And it's, especially when it's like a loved one, because in situations like that, toxic situations, you want to be very careful how you handle that.
Yeah.
Because you can push someone further away from you and into that person if you don't handle it correctly.
Yeah.
So you want to be very careful how you handle it. So it's there's a lot of it's very particular how you should do that.
Yeah, the reason this is sensitive for me though is I have this tendency to want to jump in. I mean, I don't care where I am. I don't care who I'm with. Now, my actions will vary depending upon who I'm with. Like if I have my kids, I'm not going to put myself necessarily in harm's way. I won't do that regardless. But I'm probably a little bit more courageous if I'm by myself or have my hubby with me or, you know what I'm, something like that. But I am a person who speaks up. I am a person who will, like, just for the underdog, I will speak up just because it is so triggering to me. And this also reminds me that even when we do see things in public, how many videos have we seen? Not talking about celebrities at all. We're just talking about just random, videos. Somebody's on the subway in New York or wherever, and you see somebody physically assault someone else. And nobody says anything. Right. And those types of things, like, I can't understand it. Men, women, anyone. I'm like, you don't even say anything? I'm not asking you to get up and beat somebody up, but I'm just saying you don't even say anything. So maybe because I feel so strongly about it, you know, I just don't know where I sit with this because, again, like you named it, it's kind of like more pink than it is red, you know, so there's nothing like super strongly indicative of abuse or something in their relationship. But I just don't know. I just, you know, I would rather take more precaution and be more like safe than sorry. You get what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it.
Absolutely.
Pretty Brown Mimi says, if you've observed Kanye West and his partners, there's some kind of pattern, but sometimes people do things for 15 minutes of fame too. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know if you're saying that that's the case with Bianca, or because Kanye's got 1 million minutes of fame at this point. So I don't know if it's about Bianca. Let's go ahead and move forward on this. This is where I'll land and I'll close this conversation. You know, what I hope and I pray is that if she is in any sort of danger whatsoever, that at some point she'll see a way out. But if this is the love of her life and we just need to mind our business, then by all means, go ahead and, you know, live your life, girl. Go ahead and live your life. But Kathy Griffin is catching heat. Period, point blank. However you want to look at it, she's catching heat.
And I can imagine why, because it's one of those things where you do not put those types of claims on someone if you don't know for sure.
Yeah, so you can't just. I mean, and that's strong.
Very strong
claims, Andy.
And she's saying it about a black man.
Exactly.
That's another aspect. Yeah, she's a white woman. Is she a white woman? She's white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about a black man, like it's like, you know, it's
calling a black man abusive at that, not just talking about it, but saying that he's being violent towards another white woman.
Yeah, especially, exactly. And you didn't see this man lift a finger. She was talking about, like, she was pointing out the way that she dresses. She was talking about that incident in Italy where it looked a little, you know, sketchy when they were on the taxi cab, on the water taxi. She was talking about them walking down some stairs, him not helping her down the stairs. She's talking about things that I'm like, at what point did you see any sort of violence from him? So I mean, she needs to, you know, whoa, Kathy. Whoa, Kathy. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into this situation with Stephen A. Smith. Y'all know how I feel at this point about Stephen A. Smith, but recently there was an open mic, and I wanted to address this as well because we're on the topic of Stephen A. Smith. Can I go ahead and just play this for you guys? This is an open mic, and he did not leave his name, so I don't know who it's from. Let's take a listen.
Good morning. First of all, this goes out to Robin Ayers. I love the Raw Report. It always puts me up on everything I need to know, especially in the entertainment industry. I got a question. The other day we heard the report about the ESPN reporter saying that if anybody, you know, drops their name, you know what I mean, publicly and stuff like that, that it's just over and stuff like that. And, you know, Robin Ayers, she sounded real, you sounded real spirit about it. So my question is, I wonder how you feel about that certain celebrity that said they signed an NDA agreement, or they had their partners sign an NDA agreement, and if they spoke about their relationship, then they would like give up like $1 million. I really want to hear your take on that. Just see, you know, if that same type of energy is you.
He like, keep that same energy, Robin. Okay. Can you guys enlighten me as to who said that?
I can't remember who exactly that was, but after you answer, I would love to
I don't know who this who I know we're talking about. He's specifically talking about Stephen A. Smith, when Stephen A. Smith said that he will get rid of a woman very quickly if she speaks on him publicly. If they're in a relationship.
Just like me.
Oh!
He's just like me.
Whoa, I wasn't ready. Andy?
I don't know if he was specifying anybody specifically, but I think there's this thing where I guess you call it a trend with celebrities, you know what I'm saying, while they're dating, whoever they're dating, they make them sign NDAs to protect their brand, their image, or, you know.
Yes. Well, that part is true. I have heard of celebrities doing that, making their spouse or anybody for that matter, whoever comes into their circle, sign an NDA. I'm with that all day. All day long.
Oh, yeah.
Like all day long. Like, I mean,
if I could get someone to sign an NDA for me, non-famous and all. I would absolutely have
you
people.
You can, though. That's the thing about it. You can.
Oh, well, I'm on it.
You can draft up even like a generic NDA, because whatever it is, you might talk to different people, you might have different dealings or whatever. You don't have to be famous or a celebrity.
I'm on it. Everybody gets an NDA.
Yeah,
like I don't want to see anything.
You get an NDA.
I'm handing them out like Oprah. Everybody's getting an NDA.
Oh yeah. So to answer your question, I mean, I was very spirited about that conversation, by the way, because I felt like Stephen A. Smith was just doing far too much. Saying that you would get rid of a woman, if you're in love with this woman and you see that it's going far, and she ends up talking about, oh yeah, Stephen A. and we went out to dinner the other day. You just gonna put her to the side.
I can almost see where it becomes a problem, because something as innocent as that, depending on who she's talking to, can snowball into something else. Next thing you know, you're on the shade room. Mm-hmm. Like I can see that.
Okay, fine. However, what happens when you get married?
They get NDAs too. Everybody, the kids are getting NDAs.
The kids
I don't want to hear anything from anybody.
That's funny. Now that is funny. The kids are getting NDAs. You can't talk about nothing. I simply don't. I don't get it. Here's where I stood on that, and this is before I will address that whole celebrity NDA in relationships. But how I feel about that is, you can't stop me from expressing 100% of myself, you know? So for you to say you can do all things, but because I am who I am controlling a certain part of what you do when it comes to me, and we are in a loving relationship, I just can't see it. I just can't see it. Andy he is emphatically disagreeing with me. Go ahead, Andy.
First off, he was referring to, he didn't specifically say it, but he was referring to just somebody he's talking to, maybe dating. Mm-hmm. Now, when whoever he's talking to or dating becomes Mrs. Smith, the whole world will know. He won't have no problem. Mm-hmm. But if we're just hanging out, kicking it, doing what we do, maybe in the bedroom or whatnot, yeah, I want to keep that private. Mm-hmm. So don't post nothing. Don't post nothing about me, because if somebody try to approach me about you, I'm gonna be like, what are you talking about? I don't know nothing.
I hear that. And to a certain degree, I would agree. To a certain extent, I agree. Up until a certain part. If this is just somebody who's coming over the house you've been dealing with a few weeks, I get that. But I'm talking about a little bit deeper, a little bit, you know.
I think once you get to a certain point in relationships now, if we are doing the things that we're supposed to do in terms of communicating what our expectations are of relationships, and you should also know that the expectation is, I'm a very private person, I don't need this coming out.
All right. Andy is agreeing with you. You should see all the finger pointing he's doing, like you're on point. Okay, well, anyway, when we come forward, we are going to get to the rest of our conversations, but right now there's news, traffic, and sports. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Denzel Whitaker, and I'm on the Rob Report.
More of the Rob Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis with the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House is calling on Congress to do its job and pass legislation to fund the government and avoid a shutdown. Black Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre called on House Republicans to abide by the bipartisan funding agreement negotiated by Speaker McCarthy and President Biden. Congress needs to pass a funding bill to avoid a shutdown at the end of the month. Black Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is calling on a judge to dismiss 6 of the defense attorneys in the election interference case. Willis claims this is because they previously represented clients who are witnesses in this trial. Willis said they could compromise the rights of certain witnesses if those witnesses are cross-examined by their former attorneys. Rapper Rick Ross shocked students in his hometown of Miami by donating over $200,000 worth of school supplies and clothing to 2 area high schools. And that's the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Be advised, in Mid-City, police activity is in the area of La Brea in both directions between Venice and San Vicente Boulevard. Right now, the suspect is in custody, but an ongoing investigation continues to cause some road closures in areas. Saturn is closed at Pico, and the area is only open to residents. There's also a motorcycle-involved accident with injuries that remains clear to the center divide at the 10 East after La Cienega Boulevard, and the 30-minute traffic jam and backup continues to run heavy from Cloverfield Boulevard. And in Brea's 57 North between Imperial Highway and the 60, a 25-minute traffic jam and backup.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It's only week 3 of the NFL season, but the Chargers are facing a must-win game on Sunday at Minnesota. The 0-2 Chargers need a win in the worst way. They have lost 4 straight games dating back to their playoff collapse in Jacksonville and a loss at Denver in the final regular season game in 2022. A ton of pressure on this team and coach Brandon Staley. The Rams are at Cincinnati Monday night. Their biggest concern is keeping quarterback Matthew Stafford healthy. The Rams have only 2 quarterbacks on the active roster. Stafford's backup is Brett Ripien, who has appeared in only 8 NFL games since coming into the league in 2020. The Rams could be in as much trouble as the Chargers if Ripien has to play Monday night. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
On Monday, October 9th, don't miss the KBLA Talk 1580 exclusive. The tape. 1 year later.
Y'all were coming for us. Yeah, but Tavis, that's not in my heart. I wasn't coming for anyone like that. I apologize, but that was not me. That's not in my heart. And like I said a few moments ago, I have a solid, demonstrable record of shared power. That's real and concrete. That can't be misinterpreted.
Join Tavis Smiley and an all-star panel of political insiders, influencers, and journalists for a look back at the crisis that shook LA City Hall when 4 Latino leaders were caught on tape making racist, demeaning, and derogatory statements about black people and other fellow citizens. On Monday, October 9th, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580, The Tape. 1 year later. We'll broadcast live an afternoon drive from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. When all was said and done, was more said than done. 1 year later. Are there fractures in LA's black-brown political partnership? And where do we go from here? Don't miss The Tape. 1 year later. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Monday, October 9th. Live from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. We've got a lot to talk about.
In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, children are the future. Here, tobacco companies are committed to higher education, offering scholarships to students who submit essays about the benefits of vaping. The tobacco industry even sponsors summer camps for kids. Don't worry, the tobacco-sponsored programs have been linked to leaving your kids more interested in smoking. In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the world's deadliest industry is your child's friend. See reality at undo.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your glasses, shake your asses, face screwed up like you having hot flashes. Which
22 years ago. Wow, 22 years ago. You were inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. That song from Eve is called Blow Your Mind. And 22 years ago, producer Stevie J wrote the hook. I had no idea. He wrote the hook on that song, and that song was a heater. It was heavy hitter. So yeah, that was 22 years ago. For those of you who want to feel old, real quick. Well, come on up in here if you are just joining us on the Raw Report. We are talking about earlier we were talking about Kathy Griffin, who needs to get up out of Kanye's business because she's revealing why she believes he is abusive towards his wife. We are also talking about Stephen A. Smith and the fact that he said he would get rid of a woman. We talked about this on an earlier episode couple weeks ago about the fact that he would get rid of a woman real quick that he's dating if she starts to mention him in public. Now, I played for you an open mic. I really wish I could address you by name, but you did not leave your name, which is okay. He wanted to know how I felt about a celebrity who would have, I guess, a spouse or someone else like sign an NDA. And I couldn't quite figure it out when he said if they broke it, he would give them $1 million or
they would have to pay him.
They would have to pay him $1 million. Well, you got to be with some high rollers.
Yeah.
If
I feel like I heard someone say that or something similar to that before. I just cannot remember who the celebrity was.
Yeah.
But I do recall something similar to that.
Well, I will say this, though. I believe wholeheartedly in NDAs, especially at the point that I am in my life and all the things that I've done in my life. I am around so many different people, and I've had to sign some NDAs, and I rightfully so. But I'm around different people. I hear different things, and if you come inside of this world of mine and you so happen to hear certain things or whatever that you should not be talking about, absolutely, you should be held to this NDA. So I strongly believe that. I don't know very many people that's gonna have $1 million to pay me if they break an NDA. But anyway, that is my thought on that. But speaking of Stephen A. Smith, he is talking about why he hasn't gotten married. He has a small clip. We can go ahead and play the clip because he's also talking about child support. Let's just take a listen to it and we'll talk about it after.
I'm 55 years old. I've never been married, and I'm happy about it. Now, one could easily surmise that a past rife with some degree of promiscuity, dare I say, contributed to my desire to be single. But that is not the reason I am not upset about being single. Jeezy, how he filed for divorce from his wife, Jeannie Mai, after only 2 years of marriage. Former friends are saying she's after his money. I hope the Shade Room is watching. Because, my nephew tipped me off to that site, and I see some of the things y'all talk about. Oh, y'all welcome on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Please come. If Kevin Costner's monthly child support enables the children to maintain the quality of life he once provided, why should he have to pay extra so the wife that he's no longer with gets to maintain her quality of life? Y'all ain't together.
Well, he is talking about this case with Kevin Costner and his ex-wife that he has to end up paying. We talked about this several times on this show, just about fairness. What is fair? What is too much? What is, not enough? Actually, I just mentioned spousal support. Anthony Anderson, just yesterday, the report came out that he has to pay his ex-wife at least $20,000 a month in spousal support. We're not even talking about child support at this point because both of their kids are adults. But there was a comment from Fahima. She says that's not even a lot of money. What is technically what is and what isn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, what are your thoughts about what Stephen A. Smith and this whole child support thing?
So I'm a firm believer, and I think we've talked about child support in a past conversation. Kids are expensive. So kids are expensive, and I think we underestimate how much they do cost. I did the tallying of how much it cost for me to raise my now 19-year-old, and it was astronomical. I didn't even think I had that much money. Yeah, it was insane. And
wait, you don't have to give us the figure, but can you break it down for me how
I did the numbers?
Yeah.
So how I broke it down was, okay, I look at where I live. I have to have another bedroom for him, right? So I broke down what the rent was, and for what I was paying, did the numbers, because when you do your taxes, you have to do, to figure out like what each bedroom would cost. So that additional bedroom, actually, I think I actually just compared a one bedroom versus a two in the same apartments. Now, mind you, I'm only in the neighborhood I'm in because of having a child in a school that was nice and all these other things. So it probably would have been way cheaper had I not had a child to care about.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I did that. I factored in the food, how much I pay in groceries. I factored in my water bill because, it's one person costs this much, but two people in the household cost that much. I factored in the insurance that I pay. I factored in the gas to get him to and from the things that I need to get him to that I normally would not be going to. His haircuts. I factored in how much I pay for his clothes. I factored all these things in, and let me tell you, for the girlies out there that are getting a few $100s a month, you're being scammed. I'm telling you, I'm in the triple digits just to quadruple digits just a month for what I pay, in addition to if I was just single.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane. If you actually do those numbers, anytime you actually get the time, you'll realize child support's a scam. You're not getting paid enough.
Yeah. That's interesting. There was a video that I had seen of Blueface. Speaking of Krishan Rock and Blueface, he was saying that it costs $10,000 a month to raise kids. He put a blanket statement out there. He was not necessarily talking about his own. He was just saying, just in general, like it costs that much. And the person who was interviewing, he was like, that's like an astronomical number. He was like, can't you get that number down to like 2,000? And he was like, no, it's 10,000. I mean, he was just
definitely more than, I would say is more than two. I'm going to go back and do the numbers again just in case, but I think I spent more than two.
Okay, but to Stephen A. Smith's point, he's like, okay, fine, to maintain the lifestyle that you had when we were all together, but why should that extra amount go to the woman and you guys are no longer together? Do you think that that's a fair statement?
It depends, because is it an extra amount, or is it the amount that
for a lot of women, yes.
Because I mean, for some, I feel like they did have to take off work to go to the doctor's appointments or pay for, some of the insurance or whatever is coming out of their pocket and not dad or whatever the case may be. And so it really depends, because let's say she's still living in a certain house or apartment or whatever. It's not really extra. It's just paying for that child's half of, living there.
Okay. I forgot. You and I we've had this conversation before, and I know I get it. And I don't think we disagree so much, but I have seen a lot of examples of women who were previously married to someone who was rich, and they, because of that, they now are, they have access, their kids have access to this monthly child support, but these women also take that same, whatever's left over, and they live a fantastic life based on the money that they're getting.
And I think that too, so there's two ways that the country itself does child support. You're going to either live in a state where they split it in half, like your income, his income, or they're going to live in a state where they take a percentage of his income. So if you are one of those unlucky people that's rich and you live where they take a percentage, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. She just lucked up and she gets a lot. If it's one of those things where they take the expenses and split it in half, then, so maybe just have kids in a different state. I don't know.
Okay. Right. That might be an answer. Well, here's the thing. I think differently when Stephen A. Smith says, yeah, sure, with the child, but basically, why does your ex get to live this fantastic lifestyle off of this extra money when you guys aren't together? I disagree with that a little bit, because she did stop her life to be with you. That does. So he would argue, well, you did live. I provided you a great life when we were together, but now that we're no longer together, you should just go off and find your own. Well, that's not necessarily going to be the case, because she probably stopped her life to some degree to help you or to be there with you, to love you.
Yeah,
or whatever
it's not like
is.
she just lived off of you. I don't think you marry anyone for them to just live off you and do absolutely nothing.
Absolutely. We talked about this when Gary Owen and his ex-wife Kenya, when they were going, I mean, people had so many, that's probably one of the highest viewed and engaged videos out there right now. People have so much to say about the fact that they're like, she should go and get, they were together 20-something years. They had multiple kids together.
How do you just go and get a job after that?
You
like, what do you
can't.
just go do?
You can't.
You
can.
Is she supposed to go work at Whole Foods now? Like, what is she supposed to do?
And a lot of people would say yes. A lot of people would
Yeah.
say yes. And whereas I think I'm like, well, that's a little bit unfair to us. Again, to a certain degree, there's either the child support or the spousal support. I'm more so in favor of the spousal. Support. The child support, I do really strongly believe that you keep that for the kids, right? But the spousal support, I'm not necessarily against if she spent a good amount of her time with you. She helped you to get to where you are. She took care of all home business while you did whatever it is that you had to do, at least for some years before she got back on her feet.
Yeah, and I don't think that it usually lasts. Like, it's just usually for, a specified amount of time. And as it goes for child support, men, you're always welcome to go get your kids. To this day, I will hand them over to you if you just come get them.
Yeah.
If you don't want to spend the money, just come get them.
Brother Alfonso says, Stephen A., my boy and all, but him acting like he's Morris Chestnut or some other we know women like comes across somewhat comical. That is very funny, Brother Alfonso. Yes, they said, Pretty Brown Mimi says, because she and the kids have become accustomed to that lifestyle, I think Kevin Costner and Anthony Anderson got it. Anouk says she must have lucked then to do, or do y'all remember Anthony Anderson on Hang Time? Oh yeah. Yes, I remember Anthony on Hang Time. Mimi says, no, Gary's wife, Kenya, is accustomed to a luxurious lifestyle. I mean, there's so many ways that you can argue this and so many ways that you can flip it. And everybody's situation is different. And every woman is different. And every woman is going to try to do different things. Some are just like, listen, no, I just want to take care of my kids. Or I just want to meet the bare minimum.
Right.
Others, on the other hand, I know a few, they're like, no, we are flying to Egypt every other month and living the lifestyle. Well, let's go ahead and get to the this poll. Well, 67% of you say it is cookies and cream all day. All right.
Oreo gang.
Or gang. All right. So listen, when we come forward, I still do want to get to this Tokyo Tony. We'll just talk about it. I'm not going to play the clip because you would hear so many beeps in this video. It's not even funny. It just wasn't worth it. All right. We are going to talk about that, what we're talking about, and what we're talking about with Tokyo Tony, by the way, because I think I just said something that y'all didn't understand. Anyway, when we come forward on the Raw Report, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for KBLA Talk 1580. We're live in Los Angeles at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. And I'm speaking to some of the attendees today to see why it was so important for them to be here.
Yeah, this is Lathan and Tyler. Main reason that's very important for me to be here is just to leave a legacy for my kids. Black wealth, generational wealth is what we need in our community, Oh, Chase, someone has to take the lead. They're showing, big business like Chase cares, and, they're putting their money where their mouth is at, So it's good to see, big institution like Chase, giving a lifting hand, to the community. And, you got to respect that. It makes me want to bank with Chase and, give them, another look if I go to another institution. I actually see what Chase is doing for the community.
That's right. Chase is doing their part to help advance Black wealth. For more money support, tune in every day from 12 to 2 to KBLA Talk 1580's Midday Money Chain, right here.
Applications are now being accepted for the City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program. The program provides up to 6 months of rental arrears to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardship. Applications will not be accepted after 6 p.m. on October 2nd, 2023. Go online 24/7 at housing.lacity.org or call 888-379-3150 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and see if you qualify. Apply today.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCEF scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, it's Friday, and I am sitting here with Stephanie O, and she's in the studio with me, and I don't want to stop the conversation, so I want to continue to talk about Miss Tokyo Toni. And Miss Tokyo Toni is the mother of Black China, other known as Angela White. I said that I was going to start calling Black China Angela White because I'm really for her, and she's really, really changing her life, so good for her. Her mom. Tokyo Toni. I am like scared to encounter her in real life. This woman has I don't know. She is I don't know what to say about her. She's a scary woman sometimes. And I don't know if you follow her. I don't follow her, by the way, but she's almost like everything she says is salacious. Everything she says is a soundbite, so people pick it up and then they run with it. And she's always posted on social media. Well, anyway, she went out recently and she decided that she wanted to give money down in, I believe this was downtown LA, but in a very heavily populated homeless area. And she rolls her window down and she starts cussing at these people to come and like get their money. And she literally starts handing out money and they're running to her car. And as you can only imagine, people are like desperate for money. So they're, putting their hand out and she's like, she's cussing them out for putting their hand too far inside of her car. I mean, all of these different things, but not to mention you're filming this whole thing. It just comes off very, very wrong. And, but there are all kinds of people who do things on camera when it comes to the houseless population, right? What do you think about filming? Are you a do things out of the kindness of your heart, or do you still film to motivate other people to do it?
So to me, it's a catch-22. Not a catch-22. I'm on the fence. Let me put it that way. And the reason I say that is, one, I'm a firm believer in doing things out of the kindness of your heart. Yeah. I personally don't film anything that I do. I just do it. But I do also understand the importance sometimes of filming it, because some people don't do things if they aren't motivated by something like that. I feel that when it's filmed, though, if it comes off as if you were doing this for content and takes the genuineness out of it, it's just so tacky to me. Like, you don't need a film crew and all, because people do the most. People
do the most
when they do these things. So I feel like if someone just happens to capture it, maybe that's one thing. Yeah. But if you're doing it like you're making TikTok content for this, how often do you really donate? Like there's one woman that feeds downtown LA all the time, and she captures it for content, but she does it in a way that helps build her nonprofit so that people can donate. I understand stuff like that.
Right.
But then, just people who I'm just going to go down and here's, this dollar. Let me ask you some weird TikTok question and give you, it's stupid. It's very tacky. So I'm on the fence with it, because sometimes it is necessary to motivate others to want to help out. But I prefer personally not
just to do it.
I
out
just
of the
do
kindness
it.
Of your heart.
I just do it.
There was a rapper recently. He had he caught a lot of heat because he was with someone who poured a drink on a man who was sleeping on the ground, and obviously everybody came at him because he's the well-known person, but he was with someone who poured it, and he apologized for it, and he said, "I'm so sorry. I'm gonna give out money. I'm gonna go help basically to make up for my mistakes." And he wound up going out a day or two later, and you could just see him giving out like cash, giving money, but he's filming it as well, just to sort of like prove, that I came out here, I'm sort of making my wrong right again. And I didn't know how I felt about that either. I think that was kind of tacky as well. Number one, just don't do silly things just for
and
clout
then and you uploaded it in the first place, so you just did this to yourself.
Absolutely.
Could have just
absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. It just if people can just respect even the privacy of a lot of these people who don't want to be on your camera, but they need the money or they need the food or whatever it is that you're giving away. I'm not all about that. Shirley Raines does great work with the homeless people in Los Angeles. There are several people. I often talk about My Friend's House. That's a great organization down there. I used to go and feed, and actually I would upload a video while I was there, and I'd be like, "Hey, we're out on such and such street,"
and I feel like that's good. That's good enough.
Yeah, because you're trying to promote people to come out, but it's not necessarily like, look what I'm doing. Tokyo Tony. First of all, you need to relax. But secondly, stop filming it and stop talking to people so degrading in a manner that just makes them feel horrible on top of that. Let me tell you guys what I don't want you to miss. If you are in Los Angeles, this is something that you have to check out. It's at the South Coast Repertory, A Raisin in the Sun.
Ooh.
I am so excited about this. It actually starts October 22nd, so I know I'm telling you a bit early, but it's October 22nd through November 12th, and you gotta get your tickets now. But here's what's also very, very cool. I am gonna have a guest with me very soon who is a part of this production, a part of the play. He is an incredible actor, so I'm going to have him on very soon to talk about this. So yeah, you guys go ahead and get your tickets. It's at scr.org. Again, A Raisin in the Sun, that's happening October 22nd through November 12th. Very quickly, Stephanie, thank you for coming. And where can everyone find you online?
Of course, you can find me Instagram, Twitter, everywhere online at 118. And yeah, I'm excited about A Raisin in the Sun.
Yeah.
I love that book. I love the play. I love everything. So I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to check it out.
Yes.
And Forrest Harrison says, have a great weekend and go Coach Prime. Absolutely.
That's
go
right.
Coach
Go
Prime
Coach
all
Prime.
day, all day.
Let's
Well, you
go.
guys, thank you so much. Happy Friday. And I look forward to talking to you all and engaging with you all next week. I am Robin Ayers, your host, and remember today and every day forward to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis with the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House is calling on Congress to do its job and pass legislation to fund the government and avoid a shutdown. Black Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre called on House Republicans to abide by the bipartisan funding agreement negotiated by Speaker McCarthy and President Biden. Congress needs to pass a funding bill to avoid a shutdown at the end of the month. Black Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is called